And now we are live. So can everybody hear? If you can, please stay silent. If you cannot, I guess I will not hear from you. So I'm hoping that everybody can hear. It seems like a good portion can, so it's not an issue on my end, and I will wait as more and more guests arrive, tune in, and hear. So on the screen are 3 warm-up problems. We have an idea about meals in a day. Basic arithmetic is the topic for today and for next week. So that is the plan. We also have a zoo ticket scenario, and we have 37 CDs or Blu-rays if we want to take it into this decade. Although I still use CDs, so who cares? All right, excellent. People hearing things. Hopefully me not screaming in anybody's ear, all volumes adjusted. We have 17 participants and counting. In about another minute, we will get started. I really recommend that everybody has some paper and a pencil or pen in front of them so that they can follow along, work some things out. I forbid you to have any calculator-like devices in front of you because, as you all probably know, the contest does not permit calculators in the room, which is why we have 2 arithmetic sessions. It all makes sense. All right, let's get started. Everybody can hear. Welcome. Thank you for showing up. This is the online training class for grade 1 and 2. We are the Kangaroo Math Contest. We are part of now a great many, as total as 90 participating countries in 2019 wrote this wonderful contest. It has international acclaim, and there is an international body overseeing all of these countries. It is written in Canada, in many other places, but we will get there soon. It started in 1991, runs around in March almost every year. You can keep writing it from now forever. Well, not quite forever, but until grade 12. So we are accommodating ages from 6 to 18. As I mentioned, 90 countries, a little over 6 million students in 2019, hoping to keep growing the number. And the first time it was written in Canada was not in 1991, but in 2001 in Ottawa. It has since grown to over 57 locations across Canada. That is an outdated map, so if you are excellent at arithmetic, you will count that there are less than 57 markers on the map. But there you go. The contest information that is most relevant to you. The date is going to be March 22nd of this year. It is a Sunday. I really hope that everybody will be okay finding parking and getting there on time. Again, as I mentioned, this contest will keep seeing you through all the way until grade 12, and I encourage everybody to stick with it. It is a phenomenal opportunity. I feel like of all of the contests that are offered in Canada, this one focuses on visual thinking more than any other contest would, besides all the other accolades that it has. We do offer it in both English and French. There are 18 multiple choice questions arranged in increasing difficulty. So what you will notice is a third of them are worth 3 points, a third are worth 4, a third are worth 5. So we kind of keep amping up the difficulty as we go along. You have a total of 45 minutes and no calculators. So quite a challenge. To accommodate the challenge, we have that, again, you will be faced with 3 sets of questions of increasing difficulties, 3 points, 4 points, and 5 points. There is a penalty for an incorrect answer. So unlike many other contests, maybe not the best idea to guess. Again, this is multiple choice. You are allowed to make an educated guess. A guess in the dark will probably lose you a point. If a question is left unanswered, no penalties are awarded there, and so you can achieve up to a maximum of 90 points, but to ensure that nobody has a negative score, we start off with assigning 18 points to everybody. So you can't get -1 or -3 or anything like that. Just positive integers or 0 in the unfortunate case. This is kind of what your answer sheet will look like. You will need to provide your first name and then your last, your grade, the language, and then you will need to just circle one correct answer in every single block. This is a grade 3-4 response form, but they are identical and standard throughout. The rules for this session, I feel like you are already in the know of them because everybody seems to be behaving well. There are around 8 problems. I encourage paper and pencil just to work things out. Our brains are not always as reliable as we like to think, particularly at 7, 8 p.m., 9 p.m. I think is the latest that this might be in Canada. I present you with a problem, give you about 2 minutes or as much as I can handle not talking about it, and then we go over the solution. Again, it is a good idea to not say, oh, I know the answer, and then not write it down. It is a good idea to write down the answer and the letter that it corresponds to as practice. Anything else? 45 minutes, well actually in 40 minutes now, we will all be out of here. A link to the recording will be posted to your account shortly after class. We are no longer emailing links, so this will be something that you will be able to find online. All right, let's get started. Question 1. Which digit should be placed in the square marked with a question mark if the sum of the numbers in each row and in each column is equal to the same number? Now, in the actual exam, you won't get the luxury of me reading the question out loud, but right now, you get to listen to me talk. So we have 5 options. What is going in the question mark? If you have the answer, possibly double check it for about a minute, and then feel free to post it in the chat window. We will take it up in 2 minutes. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions, like what a sum is, or what a number is, or what a column is? Is everybody clear on what it is we are doing? No questions? If there are questions, please type them out in the chat window. You can ask me privately or ask in the group chat. Excellent work. I have received 1 private correct answer. So again, in the chat window, you can either choose to leave 1 like that. Yep. So I should warn everybody that there is a spoiler alert. Yay! And as you can see, the question does take about 1 minute. Excellent. So again, some of these questions are going to be testing your vocabulary as much as they're going to be testing your arithmetic. Things like sum for adding things, difference for subtracting, quotient for dividing, product for multiplying. Those are important words to remember. Columns and rows are fairly self-explanatory. The grade 1-2, like I say, is very visual based, which is great. It is indeed C. So the answer has been revealed. More people are typing. Excellent. More people are arriving. So let's go over the solution, shall we? I mean, a way to solve this. would be to go, we know that the sum of the numbers in each row and column are identical. We have in front of us, either looking at the first column or the second row, a complete column or row, right? 5 plus 10 plus 3 is 18. 10 plus 6 plus 2 is 18. And so sure enough, we're looking for 5 plus 4 plus question mark to be 18, or 2 plus 7 plus question mark to be 18. So what plus 9 is 18? The answer is C, 9. I like how well everybody did on that. Let's keep going. Which digit should replace the question mark to make the calculation 1 plus 1 question mark minus 2 equal 13 correct? Now here, 1 question mark is standing for 1 and then like 10 plus question mark, if you will. So we're thinking of this as a number like 10 or 11 or 12 or 13, and we're trying to find the last digit. Does that make sense to everybody? I will take the silence as a yes. So now you have 2 minutes to figure out what this would be, and if you think you have it correct, you may have been awarded 3 points for the correct answer. All right, I seem to have needed to bring harder questions to this session. That was a joke because these are as hard as they will appear on the contest. So hopefully everybody will ace and possibly get prizes. All right, what number minus 2 is 13? That was the first way that I was thinking about things, right? So if we are thinking of that and we are going to the next portion, we go, well, so now mystery number minus 2 must give us 13. And if we are thinking of that, we go, well, what makes 15? 1 plus 14 makes 15. And so we should have that the number should be replaced by a 4. So the answer should be E. I believe that one person has just lost a mark, and a bunch of people have gained 3, and some people have gained 0. Not that we're counting marks, but just in case. Beware of the simple arithmetic. Make sure you add things correctly. Take the time when you're doing this. Yay! Marks are awarded. All right, interesting linguistic question. What is half of 12? And 3 points go to anybody who has a correct answer. So again, take a couple of minutes, think it through. Half of half. This is not a typo. I am seeing both correct and incorrect answers. And I am feeling like there is the wisdom of the crowd might actually be a concept and is true, at least in this classroom. All right, let's take it up. So half of half, we would have, first we can deal with the half of 12. That will be 6. Then we can take half of that. That would be 3. Another way to think of it is 1/2 of 1/2 is 1/4. 1/4 of 12 is 3. Either way, that is not a strange man with a smiley face wearing sunglasses. That is B, 3. Question 4. There are 7 birds on a tree. 4 of them flew away, and then 5 other birds flew over and sat on the tree. How many birds are there on the tree now? 3 points for the correct answer. Excellent work. Well, in an answer to Henry's statement, it is easy. We need to start at the easy and work our way up, right? If I had started with, hey, these are the most horrendous problems I could find from the last 5 years of contests, things would not go so well. People would cry. All right, let's give it maybe 15 more seconds and then let us take it up. I see a raised hand. So one of the strange things about raising a hand in this thing is you are immediately allowed to speak out loud, which is, we can't support you speaking out loud, so there's a whole thing. It's fine, but yes. I might just decline as often as I accept. But thank you for providing the correct answer. Alrighty, yes, let's watch this wonderful animation. Let's hope it works. We have our 7 birds in a tree. We then have that some of them have teleported away, and we are left with 3. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 birds appear. In total, we are counting 8. So the total number of birds is 8. I hope you liked this movie. I will be entering into the race for Oscars next time. All right, question 5. Peter was born when his sister Dorothy was 5 years old. Now Dorothy is twice as old as Peter. How old is Peter now? Let's take 2 minutes to think about that. Again, if people have any questions, twice here means 2 times as old. We are assuming when people are born, they have age 0. We once again have the badge of honor of easy from Henry, and we are getting a nice little distribution of C. Anybody think that it is not C? I'm just messing with you. All right, it is probably C. Let's go through the thing. How does this go? I would just write out the fact that Dorothy is at 5 years and Peter is at 0 years. There are, of course, multiple ways to solve this problem. The easiest one would be to just list the numbers. There's not going to be that many years. And sure enough, when Dorothy is 10, Peter is 5. So Peter is 5, Dorothy is 10. We are asked for how old Peter is, right? That is one way that I could have asked for Dorothy's number, and then just make sure you are answering the question that is asked, not the question that you think would be more interesting or that you think it was when you were reading. How many different scores can we obtain by hitting a board with 2 darts? So not any board, not the actual dartboard that is used in the sport, but this particular board. The outer rim is 0, the inner rim is 3, we've got a middle rim of 2. I like the creativity that's starting to happen in the chat. That's fun. Not as many answers this time around, or at least they're not coming as quickly. So for the people who think they have an answer, what would happen if I asked you how many different scores can we obtain by hitting the board with 3 darts? Again, that is not for everybody, that is just for, well, I guess it is for everybody. You can think about whatever you want to think. But first, I want the answer to this puzzle. So our, what was it? Our critic in residence has valued this as kind of hard. I'm guessing it would be about a 4 points on your actual exam. You can have more different scores than just 4. Mm-hmm. That feels like code. Is that question 6 version 2, or what is happening, Aiden? I'm trying to read it and I can't quite. All right. Assuming it's nobody's password entered in by accident. Let's keep going. So as many of you have correctly identified, we are hitting this board and we might hit a number and a different number. So we can think of 3 and 2, 2 and 0, 3 and 0, which is something for some reason psychologically a lot of people forget. Or we can hit the same area twice, 3 and 3, 2 and 2, 0 and 0. There are 6 different scores we could be obtaining. The answer is C. All right, in a box, say there are 2 smaller boxes, and each one of those contains 2 even smaller boxes. And then each of those smaller boxes has 2 even smaller boxes inside of it. How many boxes are there in total? So not how many smallest boxes there are. How many boxes are there in total? Wow is the correct expression for how many boxes you suddenly have and how much time you have on your hands putting them into bigger and bigger boxes and arranging it that way. It's probably going to be a distribution of answers on this one. We're already getting 3 potential answers, one of which I will say is correct. There is a box. I remind people that there is a box, and inside it are 2 smaller boxes, and inside are smaller boxes, and inside are smaller boxes. We seem to be duking it out between 15 and 14. So there is an old wisdom to multiple choice taking. If you have an answer and you're fairly certain of it, and then you write it down, if you then feel like changing your answer, the wisdom is to not, because the idea is that you will have probably gotten the correct answer the first time. That goes for some situations, but it doesn't go for all situations. So please make sure that you have settled on an answer before we take it up. Is it 14 or 15? In the beginning, there is 1 box. There is not 0 boxes in the beginning. There is not 2 boxes in the beginning. There is 1 box, and inside it are a Matryoshka dolls full of other boxes. We have once again a kind of hard from our resident critic evaluation, so we are probably judging that this is a 4 points out of 5. Has everybody who wanted to figured out the idea for the dartboard if we have 3 darts? I believe I saw 1 correct answer, but in case anybody's still working on that, if I should spoil it or leave it be. Right, I seem to have started getting exhausted, so let's keep going before I mess up and tell anybody the wrong thing. By the way, for the dartboard, in case I feel like the expiry date at that point has passed, if we were to do 3 darts, we should get 9 different scores that we could have. 10 possible combinations, but 9 different scores. I saw somebody be correct. I'm sorry, I have forgotten your name at this point. But good job, you. All right, in a box, this box, there are 2 smaller boxes, much like these 2 boxes, each one of which contains 2 even smaller boxes, each one of which contains 2 even smaller boxes, for a total of 15. We may also notice that at every stage of the box unveiling that we have in front of us, let's see if the computer will cooperate as I try to remove the boxes. We will have something that is close to a power of 2, but not quite, right? So we have 1 less than a power of 2 in each time. So first we have 1 box, then we have, 2 minus, oh dear. How far is it going to let me scroll now that I pressed it a bunch of times? Never be angry at your PowerPoints. Oh dear. All right, let's see what it is that I can do here. We had 1 box, as you bear with me while we have technical difficulties and the Adobe Connect crashes. Hello. Hello. Can everybody still hear me? That will be a neat thing to know. Hopefully everybody can still hear. Sorry about that. I have collapsed in a vortex of my own making by trying to show you a cool thing. So the cool thing would be, and bear with me as I try and get us back to the correct slide, the cool thing would be that at every stage we are doing one less than a power of 2. So for example, when we are thinking of the box, the answer you have found will hopefully have been that there are 15 boxes in total. A step before that, there were 7 boxes. A step before that, 3. A step before that, 1. If you are the sort of person who is the sort of person like me who likes to prove things to themselves, try and figure out why we always have 1 less than a power of 2. But that will not fit into a multiple choice question, so that will not be asked on this particular contest, although it is fun. All right, are we all ready to go for the next one? Everybody can still hear? Can I have a show of smiley faces or pluses or something to show that everybody's awake, everybody's good, and we are ready to go for the next one? We will have to clear the chat soon, so let's see if we can make it through the rest of this by having the chat. All right, excellent. Question 8, the final question before the homework questions. Kate, Nicole, and their mother and father sit down at their breakfast round table. The father is very particular and prefers to sit at the same spot at the table. In how many ways can we seat Kate, Nicole, and their mother around the table? So the father is fixed. What else can we do? Our resident critic is busy working on the problem, but I would anticipate that this would get a designation of hard or some such equivalent. It is probably worth 5 points. I see 3 answers in front of me, one of which is correct. If I told you how many correct answers I see now, you would know what the correct answer is. That is a logic puzzle in and of itself. So we are again saying that the father is fixed, right? The father sits in this particular spot at this particular table. We are not considering a rotation of this arrangement where the father sits on the left and everybody sits the exact same way as a different arrangement. That should maybe negate some of the answers, some of the earlier answers at least. Excuse me. I see a correct answer and I see a frowny face. I feel like I'm missing something about that explanation. May people please explain the frowny faces? I feel like I am at the butt of a very misery-inducing joke, to be honest, because frowny faces, what's up with that? Why do they exist? Can people not hear? Are people upset? Is this making them cry? Do they hate this problem in particular? Is the audio bad? What's going on? Is it that everybody's sad that we're nearing the end? All right, that is the perfect segue into the thing. How to do, and then about 1,000,000 question marks, give or take 1,000. All right, how to do, the easiest thing would probably be just to, you can kind of see the little animations floating their way in, but possibly just to write all of the arrangements. So we will keep listing the father as being at the top. I'm just going to put that table out of its misery because it's entertaining, but not that great. So we can kind of, the way that I would do it is I would fix somebody else. So I would go, the father sits there. Let's say the mother sits to his left. And then I would go, okay, well, that's two arrangements. Either Nicole and Kate sit one way or Nicole and Kate sit another way. Then let's say some other days the mother and father would rather sit across from each other at the table. Maybe they're having a bad morning. Maybe they just want to be away from each other for a bit. Nicole and Kate, once again, have two different arrangements to themselves. And finally, if the mother chooses to sit to the right of the father, again, Kate and Nicole can duke it out. Two different arrangements, flip and flip, right? We're not dealing with any of the big numbers precisely because we said the father's spot at the table is fixed. So if we had multiple ways of seating the father as well, there would just be the stuff of nightmares. So right now, there are 6 ways to sit around the table, and the answer is C. Excellent. What happened with the warm-ups? Hopefully everybody got this. 3 meals a day. How many in a week? 3 times 7 is 21. This is arithmetic. It is good to warm up your arithmetic thinking hats. An adult ticket in a zoo costs €4. A child would cost 3. We have 2 children with a father, so 4 plus 3 plus 3 equals €10. The answer is D to the second warm-up question. And to the third question of the CDs, multiple ways to do this one. 17 is the answer, B. The idea being, if you give away 10 of your CDs, both of them now have 27, right? But how many did the person who didn't get any CDs or didn't have enough CDs before have? 10 less than that, 17. Homework questions. I will flash these up on the screen so that you have them to look at the recording. You can print screen them now. Here's question 1. Here is question 2. There are some bananas on the kitchen plate. And then I will also show you in a second question 3. Here we go. If anybody needs me to go back to, let's say, question 2 or question 1, so you can screenshot it, or again, these will appear in the recording. Yep, question 1 is right here. Feel free to copy it down. I prefer to advise you to screenshot it. Is everybody ready? I'm going to move on to question 2. And then question 3. Thank you very much for coming. How was the difficulty? And then if you would like to leave a comment about the difficulty, please do so. If not, I will see you next week. Thank you. Question 2. Bye. See you next week. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Have a good week. Take care. Good luck on all your studies.